It's the top tier. So I really just wanted to go for like personal training. I was really interested in business.
Like everybody that's the 1%ers, everybody has mentors and coaches. Like
Posting motivational stuff, not to inspire other people, just because I always see that stuff and it helps me get going. So that's all I would do, man, on my own social media platform, is just share the process, and people kind of bought into it, man. And
if I come to you, AV, let's make a strain that's called AV. AV's gas. But you're not going to have a say on it. Next thing you know, that shit is fucking bullshit.
Well, the thing with that is I wouldn't know, because I don't know shit about weed, so it's not like I could tell.
Bro, I don't like those, man.
Man, at first I didn't, but then it's like I started drinking, and it kind of gives me that feel like when you drink a soda. I don't drink sodas, but like every blue moon I'll have like a Coca-Cola, like a cold one with like a pizza or some shit. So
they make you feel full though.
Yeah,
that's so probably some like getting old people. Like when you're getting old, you start doing shit like that.
So AV was like, this shit is there's something about this. It gives you kind of like a high, and I was like,
you like Topo Chico?
Yeah, bro, those motherfuckers, you'll take a drink and then that burp that comes afterwards.
That's like the biggest thing though.
Oh shit,
it makes me feel cool though, drinking out of glass bottle though.
Let's get this started, man. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are live. What is Gucci Manucci's? Welcome to the Half Court Podcast. My name is Darwin. I got AV behind the camera, and today we got a special guest. We got Fonzo from Less Work, man. Welcome to the Half Court Podcast, brother.
Thank you, man. Appreciate you having me.
Man, it's been doing your thing, man. We've been seeing you, you know what I'm saying? So tell the people what you got going on. I know you're very heavily into fitness, and you have a pretty cool story, according to Cheyenne. shout out to her. So we wanna listen to that, man, and just give people insight.
Yeah. So I don't even know where to start, man. I guess I can tell people what I do. I do a lot of online coaching, personal training, in person, a few people. Then I have like an apparel company called Let's Work. That kind of randomly started last year during like the middle of the pandemic. I started, well, I guess pretty much the story, started training clients. I had a homie hit me up, hey, can you do some nutrition coaching? I was like, oh yeah, cool, I can help you out. Mm-hmm. And then one client turned into 3, and I was like, man, let's make some t-shirts. And then I had a t-shirt with just hashtag Let's Work on it. And then 3 t-shirts turned into about 10 turned to about 15 turned to about 50 turned to 100.
And it kept going.
Yeah, man. And I was just like, well.
it has a nice touch to it, like Let's Work.
Yeah,
like,
man.
Just simple.
It's simple.
Keep it simple.
Keep it simple, and it's like, let's work. Like,
and you can apply it to anything.
Exactly.
I think that's
like
the biggest
anything.
thing, man.
Mindset,
fitness,
like go get it type shit. So,
esports.
Yeah. Man, I feel like this pandemic is like one of those where it's like, it really sparked the creativity and like the mindset of a lot of us. You know what I'm saying?
I think that, man. And I think I saw this good quote, and I'm not saying there's like, this is true, man, but it definitely, the pandemic kind of brought the hustler out of a lot of people.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I want to say like hustling, but like, when you kind of are like in a situation where it's like, oh, like we don't know what's going to happen. You kind of have to get creative.
Fucking die, so you better go follow your dream.
Yeah, exactly.
Dude, and it's also one of those deals too, where like everyone's on the same playing field. Mm-hmm. So it's just like, man, like it's free game right now. Like it's land grabbing season. So you just kind of figure things out and go with it.
Yeah, definitely. Like we never stopped the episodes. We were kind of like, I don't know if this is the right move, but I was like, man, let's do it, bro. Because if I'm gonna die, it's gonna do something that I'm gonna die doing something I love,
Yeah.
And definitely, like I did do a short film. I wouldn't call it a short film. It was just a little like, what would you call those? A 5-minute? Is that a short film? The little pandemic thing I did.
Yeah. It was
practicing, kind of getting the swing of things and seeing where I can improve. But that was fun. Like that journey, like of keeping the episodes going and doing that short film was pretty fun. It was definitely a learning experience for me. But it's true, man. I think the fuck, I hate saying that word, but the thing kind of sparked, sparked it in us. So yeah, man, talk to us about your journey. So do you have like a degree or like?
So I don't, man. So I don't even know where to start, man. So I guess I dropped out of college. Mm-hmm. I went to OU, man, for about 2.5 years. What
were you going for?
I was going for health and exercise science. Like I wanted to do physical therapy. And then I remember looking at like the acceptance rates of that. And I was just like, man, I'm not getting in for sure. Just cause I was like, I get good grades, but not enough to like where it's the top tier. So I really just wanted to go for like personal training. I was really interested in business. But one of the biggest things about college, man, is I just I didn't fit in at OU because I was always, around this time in college, I was working along my fitness journey because when I graduated high school, I was about 300 pounds. So really when I was in college, I was just kind of like doing my thing, work out, sleep, eat, study, and like that was it. So I just really focused on fitness, man. And I kind of realized that you learn a whole lot more through YouTube and listening to podcasts and reading books than I did in school.
Bro, it's crazy. A lot of people say that shit, and it's true. Like,
and just being in the fucking gym too, like.
Yeah, I mean, experience.
I feel like the whole workout stuff is like a science project. Like you just gotta try different shit and see how your body adapts to it.
Yeah.
Like add more weight, take less weight, add more reps, and there's really no set like reps. Like do 12. Like everybody's different. Like just go in there. You might fucking It's like a science
that's the beautiful thing, man. It's just like you're experimenting to see what works best for you, what's most efficient, how do you create endurance, all this crazy stuff, and that's why I love that shit, man.
How were you able to actually like care for other people's goals? Because I think that's what was tough for me. Like I could look up different workouts and things that were gonna work for my goals, but it was hard, like, for me to be motivated for other people's goals. You know what I'm saying? Like, how do you do that? Like, how do you say, I'm going to go train this 98-year-old lady and then I'm going to go train this athlete or whatever?
Right. I mean, I think the biggest thing, man, is like, I guess understanding that each individual person's different and everyone has their different needs. So then as you, like, I know myself with coaching clients, I got to be in the mode where it's like, hey, my lifestyle clients are definitely different from my competitive clients. Like I have a guy that's going to be competing this year in a bodybuilding show, and I have to be a little more rigid with him, a little more straightforward. Like, hey, this is what we got to do, X, Y, and Z. Or some of my lifestyle clients, it's like, hey, let's just working on getting in 4 meals of protein throughout the day and drinking a gallon of water and going on walks and maybe going to the gym at least 3 to 4 times a week. So I think one of the biggest things, man, is like really catering more towards their goals, and really also like if they're paying you for a service, man, like you want to make sure they're getting their money's worth, and also like they're also looking to you for a change. And it's like I want to make sure I'm doing everything I can to be that change. Now there's some people where they truly don't even care about their goals. They're just kind of trying to get the ball rolling. But at the end of the day, man, it does come down like their own personal responsibility to care for themselves and want to move the ball themselves, I feel like.
Yeah, because your what you do, your knowledge and stuff is a percentage. I think the big part is them when they walk out of the gym. Like, what are you doing nutrition wise? Are you getting enough sleep? You know,
are you executing?
And guys, executing, and I see it so many times. Like, it'll be a person that comes in with a personal trainer, and the trainer is like trying to get them going, and then the person is just at a low energy. Like they're probably just thinking about what they're gonna eat for breakfast or some shit.
Yeah, so and I do feel like, as a personal trainer, like I only have one in-person client, but I do feel like it's my responsibility to kind of bring the energy, regardless of like the day that I'm having, or if I had a bad day, like it doesn't matter. Like I'm there to do a job, and I'm gonna do it to the best of my ability because. One, I feel like if I don't deserve that money. But I want to feel like I deserve that money.
But I feel like at least for me, when I have a bad day, when I have a bad day, as soon as I get to the gym, that shit changes.
Yeah.
Like that shit changes.
There's some days, bro, I pull up to the gym, like I don't want to be here. But then you get done, you're just like, damn.
The switch, like
that
that.
feels
There's
pretty
a switch.
good, man.
Yeah. So this morning I woke up it was like 5:20, and then I'm like, man, I could just go to sleep because I go to work at 8. So I'm like, I could just.
And you pull up at 8:30, so
I could sometimes, but I could just say fuck it, And then I thought about it, and I was like, nah, because then I'm gonna be all fucked up, like barely waking up. And an hour of sleep, is that really gonna make a difference? You know what I'm saying?
Nah, I feel you, man.
So when I was at the gym, I was like, I'm glad I did this shit.
No, and it's something that you said, bro. You're once you go to the gym in the morning and you get that shit done, you're way ahead of a lot of people that are like waking up like
By the time you get there, you're already fresh. You've already sweated.
It's just kind of like setting yourself up for success in a way.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of people, it's like, hey, did you plan when you're going to work out? What time you're going to train? What time you're going to eat? What time you're going to sleep?
Yeah.
X, Y, and Z. And it's like, dude, might as well start my day out on a good foot. And
like small wins, like fucking do your bed, go to the gym, and you already start winning.
Yeah,
like, exactly.
Exactly, man. Like even today, like I never wake up this early, but I woke up today at 4, And I was just wide awake, and I laid to in bed till 4:30. I was like, well, if I'm just going to lay here, I might as well get up and go to the gym. So I went and trained at 5. It was done by 6:30, and I was like, man, got the entire day. I'm feeling pretty good.
And even if you only get in like 30-minute workout, fucking, because a lot of times too, that's what I would brainwash myself into being like, man, fuck it, I'm not gonna go today because I'm only gonna be there 30 minutes anyway.
Right.
But it's like 30 minutes is better than nothing.
Bro, yeah, and that's a big thing, man. Too many people, I feel like, get too caught up in trying to have like a perfect program and a perfect this and that. It's like, dude, just start, one foot in front of the other, and then you collectively build upon that, and then you start getting into like your programming and certain times when you do want to train. But as long as you get the ball rolling, man, it's kind of hard to lose if you're doing something. I feel like
like getting the ball rolling, and then at some point, like when you're seeing progress, if you want to do like a challenge for yourself,
right,
to step it up a notch, then you can do that, and then just balance it out.
Yeah, exactly, man. I mean, like even like when I was 300 pounds, I never would have thought I'd do a bodybuilding show. It wasn't until I lost 100 pounds where I was like, oh, like.
So how did you start?
Yeah,
like,
man. How did you like start the courage to be like, I gotta go and lose some fucking weight?
I was 250, so that means you had 50 pounds on me.
Yeah, so
couldn't imagine that shit.
Yeah, man. I'm 5'7" frame, 300 pounds, man. I
couldn't even run, bro.
Rolling ball, bro.
Out of breath and shit.
Yeah. But honestly, man, I think really the determining factor. This is just kind of how it is, man. After high school, I played football in high school, so I was always in the sports. So I was like 260 as a lineman, obviously a bigger dude. But then obviously like that eating carries over. You kind of stop training. You're like, I don't know what I'm doing. I graduate high school, and really, man, I had a turning moment where this is just the truth. Like I was in a relationship at the time, and we go off to college, and like that relationship ends. And it wasn't that I was necessarily upset with her. It was just like, man, like I invested so much into myself that I didn't know who I was. So I kind of looked at it as like, hey, dude, like, you don't know who you are. And also, man, if you don't ever lose this weight, like, you will truly never amount to anything. And, like, I personally, like, had that conversation with myself, looking at myself in the mirror. I was like, dude, can you imagine living your entire life like this? And, if you live like this for 20 years, imagine if you live like this for the next 20 years, like, you're never going to amount to anything. So, like, right then and there, the flip kind of just switched, and I was just like, I need to change. And I tell people this, man. A lot of people are like, how did you do it? Like, I'm be honest with you, I didn't know what I was doing. What I would do is I would weigh myself every morning, and if I didn't lose a pound or two, the next day I woke up, I would just eat less food. So I would just eat as least much, like not as much as you possibly can to lose weight, and then I do a bunch of cardio, lift weights. I follow people like Corey Gregory. He was like the owner of this brand called Muscle Farm, and he would do like these 4 a.m. workouts. So I'd work out at 4 a.m. I would do fasting. I pretty much did keto as well. And I would just figure it out along the way to really just kind of get myself to the point where like one day I woke up and I was like, oh shit, dude, like you did it, and I remember, I'll never forget that day when I said I did it. And I was like, dude, like now there's literally nothing that you cannot do. Mm-hmm. And then that's when I set the next goal of like, hey, let's compete in a bodybuilding show. That process took a long time because God had a lot of different detours for me to go through in order for that to happen. But 3 years later, last November, I did it.
Yeah.
So
yeah. Last November, during this whole craziness?
Yeah, man. Yeah. So I'm gonna be honest with you, it was a huge blessing because I'm a pretty big mental health advocate. Honestly, like I'm just gonna say, like my therapist is literally right down the street, which is pretty dope. And I started to go to therapy around not this past November, but the November before, right before the pandemic hit. And I was just kind of struggling with some anxiety, depression, and I was really just kind of in my own head, man. So I started to go and see a therapist, and she really helped me kind of get the ball rolling with like unwinding, or I guess figuring out my mind, which is really helpful. And I realized when I started going there, I do really well off a structure. I do really well off a routine. So when the pandemic hit, I started my prep before the pandemic hit by like 3 weeks. But dude, it helped me out so much with having a structure and an end goal, because if I didn't have that during the pandemic, I definitely would have been all over the place. So it was kind of nice to have like, hey, you got to wake up at 6 to train at 8, to be at work at 3, to be in bed by 11. And it was just nice to have that constantly throughout the pandemic. So honestly, like, I know a lot of people didn't have as great as the year, man, but like 2020, man, was like one of those years where I would truly say like I will remember forever, because it kind of forced me to elevate myself, and I put in the work and time to do that.
I think we'll all remember this goddamn year.
Yeah, good and bad, man.
But man, that's crazy, because it's like it takes a lot of discipline, especially on like the competing side, And I would say the nutrition side is the hardest shit to kind of like, you know, master, because you have to make sure you don't consume a lot of water weight, salt, sodium, and all that.
Everything matters.
It's a fucking mind fuck.
Yeah.
Dude, it does, man. You look at food very differently when you do it, man, because you get so accustomed to eating, you know, the last
like bulk season is like
what's the mentality?
The mentality, man, I think, so honestly, man, the mentality was no one's going to come do this work for me, so I just got to do it myself.
Yeah.
But also, I think one of the biggest things is I also had a lot of momentum because Let's Work was starting to sell t-shirts, and like I was starting to like really push my brand. And I really honestly, like, I'm just going to say, like, I saw competing as like a huge way to really get my name out there. Mm-hmm. So it was kind of like one of those moments. I feel like we all have those moments where it's like, man, like this is kind of like a do or die moment. And I was just like, man, like I'm going to do this. Like one way or another, like I'm going to, like towards the end of my prep, man, I was doing 2 hours of cardio a day, 1,000 calories. Like I was pretty low and depleted, but I was like, man, like I got a lot on the line with me trying to build this brand and me trying to like grow my social media and grow my network that like it didn't matter. You know, I was just like, I don't care if I have to cry on the treadmill. Like I'm going to do this, you know?
You had a serious goal.
Yeah. And also be honest with you, man, like a lot of people like say prep is hard and like it is, you know, it takes you to a place mentally that I don't think I've ever been to before. And a lot of people haven't been either, but it was one of those deals where I really liked it.
When I saw my best results was like when I was eating constantly for 8 months, fucking sweet potato, tilapia, broccoli.
Oh, you were in it.
I was, man, and it's crazy because I was, like that was like my protein source, and then the chicken, then like it would be the chicken breast, and like
I guess I'll throw some fucking barbecue sauce on it today.
Like sugar free,
bro, sugar free, like that. Yeah. That's when I saw the best results. That's when I was more like dedicated, the shakes, all that craziness, and
that's when the hose was flocking.
Man, it wasn't bad because I would go to cookouts and literally be like, I'm just going to have a small portion of stuff. And if sometimes I'll be like, if it's too much, then I'm not going to, you know, get my diet dirty. Like I was committed. Yeah. And at the end, like probably 7 month like in, I was like, man, I'm tired of this shit. You know?
Dude, I was.
And I had like, I didn't want to compete. So I was like, I think I reached my goal. So I just got to.
I feel like that's why people need to just like first create a lifestyle and then when you have that healthy lifestyle going, then you can add a challenge. That way, when you don't do the challenge, you still have a good lifestyle going. Because I think like what a lot of people do is they'll like do a challenge or something like that, and then it's just they're in that mentality just throughout that challenge. They can't wait for it to be done so they can go back to the bullshit. Yeah. So I feel like. Yeah.
And that's the thing, man. I mean, I fall trap into that too. You know, I competed and I was in the best shape of my life, man. But then post-show, I was just like,
I did it.
Man, pizza and donuts sounds good every single day for weeks on end. But, you know, you kind of get, I don't know, I got myself back on the boat, but I know a lot of people fall into that, man. It's all about, I think one of the things you have to accept is like your fitness journey never truly ends. You know, it's every single day.
Something.
Like
you always find something.
Even if it's competing or you want to run a marathon or X,
it's
Y, and Z.
Like brushing your teeth or fucking taking a shit. Like
you got to do it every day. I mean, it's just like you hear the thing about like motivation and like bathing. It's like, you know, people recommend you take a shower every day. I'd recommend, you know, looking at something motivational every day because that's what helps keep you going. You know?
It goes back to the
subconscious mind. Yeah. It all sticks.
The hardest part is like, you made it to the gym, you got the workout in, but it goes back to like the nutrition side. I feel like we have to kind of train ourselves to like the meals that we're used to eating that are not good, that are not going to give us results, kind of take them away and kind of clean it up a little bit. Cause I feel like that right there is, it's a big part. I would say the first thing to master is that the nutrition side, right?
But sometimes you can't even work out if you ate like shit.
Yeah.
You just be at the gym bloated.
Inflammation and stuff like that, man.
So I would say that's the biggest thing, man, is the nutrition side.
What kind of workouts were you doing when you were 300 pounds?
So honestly, man, I was always into strength training, just like because of football. You know, we do powerlifting meets in the off season, so I was always accustomed to. I'm just going to you know, I was that dude that, you know, you max out every workout on bench press, squat, deadlift. You know, we're squatting that day. You throw up a heavy single.
Man, did you see Larry?
New PR today, bro.
Did you see Larry Nance's gym partner, I think it is. He tear his pec. Have you seen that shit?
Yeah, man.
Have you seen that shit?
Dude, I saw the photo and I turned it off. I didn't watch it.
It was a video, bro.
Yeah.
The motherfucker is on a incline
and
bench
his
press.
pec pops in.
His pep just
Yeah.
and he's like, oh, I was like,
Hey, shout out to Larry though for catching the weight.
for real.
Yeah, that's a lot of
But
weight.
that is it's a little scary, man. It's a little scary.
Man,
It all
when
has
people
to
are
do
lifting
with
heavy weight like that, the other day at the gym, there was this dude, and he had a shitload of plates, and then everybody's just kind of looking at him, and this dude's like, bro, you're on your own. Nobody's spotting you with that shit.
bro. Some people just like to show off, like really.
He was strong, bro. He got it. He got it.
Hey, you gotta respect it.
Yeah, he got
But
it.
some people like to just show that shit off, but it's
But
like
you could tell we were all kind of like nervous for him because we were like, bro,
that's a lot of fucking weight.
Yeah,
Nobody
Like,
falls, it's gone.
I've learned to the point where if I'm not a power lifter, I'm not gonna compete in shit. I'll try to max out, but I know where my limit's at, because it's one of those where it's like those compounds, they can fuck you up. Like to think that I have 300, 315 on my spine, you know what I'm saying? Like, or, it's just
one little move can
one
really
little, like deadlift too. Like,
Shout out to the Hodge twins. They always, they would say, don't go lift too much or else you'll snap your shit. You don't want to be at the gym and have your shit snapped.
Yeah.
It'd be like, for rails, imagine being there, you just stuck. Like, nah, man.
Yeah, man.
That'd
So,
be tough.
yeah, man. So it's been one hell of a journey for you, man. Like you lost this weight, you turned that.
My bad. So you're doing heavy weight, and then how are you? He didn't answer the question. What kind of workouts he was doing? He was 300
So
pounds.
yeah, no, man. So I lift weights.
That's a big boy, bro. You
Yeah.
can't even run and shit.
And then what I would do is the cardio I would do, man, would be running. So when I did this in college. Like I get off work late at night and I'd go train in the nighttime, like 10 p.m., 11 p.m. Terrible. But what I would do is I'd run a mile and then I go lift weights and then run another mile. And I just did that for I probably did that, man, for 6 or 7 months. Just lift weights, run a mile, lift weights, run another mile. Until I got to the point where I woke up and I was like, oh, like,
It's just working.
yeah, it worked.
And then eating less, you said.
Yeah, and eating less, man. That's the thing I tell people, man. I probably made every mistake you possibly can from a nutritional standpoint starting out, but man, I really didn't care. I just wanted to lose the weight, and we figured that out.
Well, I feel like we all did that, man. I remember when it was time for me to bulk and shit, I'm just eating all kinds of junk, but then I'm like, this can cause health problems in the long run. Like eating a lot of fucking burgers, pizza.
Yeah.
What was the hardest thing to give up as a fat boy?
I'm gonna be honest with you, man. The hardest thing to give up wasn't really necessarily anything. I think it was more of the mindset of having to tell other people no, especially when you're accustomed to telling everyone yes to eating their food, especially if you're like, if you're Hispanic, it's very cultural to want to eat when you go to your grandma's house or birthday party. So like that was probably the hardest part, was just telling people no. And I feel like I never struggled with like, hey, I can't eat this food or I can't eat that. It was just like I had to have the courage to tell people no and be okay with, people kind of like, what is he doing? Like, kind of being laughed at and stuff. But it's just like, I knew I had an end goal. So like nothing else kind of mattered, because going back to it, like I said, I kind of knew that my life depended on me losing that weight. So like, I just didn't care about it a whole lot.
Nice.
Yeah. Those, when you see somebody, like I always said, like, man, if I'm ever going to meet a chick and shit, like she got to go to the gym. 100%. Not just because of the looks. That's a big part, obviously, but it's like you're showing me that you have discipline to take care of yourself, to come in this bitch, kill that shit, and you look good. So that means you're also taking care of your nutrition. So you have discipline. And I think that goes a long way. You know what I'm saying? So
it is,
I always say, and vice versa with us people. With us guys. We go to the gym.
Yeah, if you want to be of high value, you gotta hit the gym and fucking take care of it.
It tells you. It tells you.
I'm be honest with you. Yeah, I mean, and people. I'll be honest with you, when I was 300 pounds, ain't no one hitting me up. But then you get some abs and you lose some ton of weight, man, and all of a sudden it's like, hey, like, here's my number. And it's like, oh, cool, probably won't date you, but it's still pretty nice to know that someone's looking out for you.
Yeah, man,
for sure.
It's definitely a confidence booster,
It is.
And then whenever you're fat and you don't got money, that sucks. Like, at least like Biggie Smalls and them motherfuckers, you buy a big chain, you can get fat still.
I ain't got it like that, so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So where can they find you as far as like training? Do you go to do you train at a certain gym and then train your clients at a different gym, or what?
So a lot of I kind of limit my in-person, but I'm about 4-star in May. A lot of my coaching is online. Just because I do mostly handle a lot of people's nutrition coaching. So like kind of setting their macros, their protein, how much protein they should have, carbs, fats, and then just kind of, figuring that, man. And the online thing's kind of nice too, though, because it allows me to
do it from anywhere.
Do it from anywhere, man. It's kind of cool being able to work from your phone.
So how does that work? Do you do like certain schedules, like this Wednesday is a call to see where you're at? And
yeah, man. So like what I'll have everyone do is, depending on the client, but majority of my clients check in on Sundays, just so that way they can have their new program for the following Monday to start the week, on the right foot. But usually every Sunday, everyone will check in with their weight. It kind of a biofeedback of how their week went. So like their sleep, their energy, how were they on their nutrition, how were they with their training, how were they with their water. It just kind of me a good rundown so I can assess and actually make, not a guess, but like make the corrections that we need to move forward, instead of just like, just cut less food even though you had a bad week.
Do you ever spot some bullshitters?
I do, man.
Yeah. So how do you kind of like?
Yeah, I mean,
it's dope because that's a hard one, right?
Because you want to give people the benefit of the doubt.
Right.
You don't want anyone to lie to you. I think one of the biggest things is they'll be like, "Oh, I'm late to my check-in," but I've never really had a client do that to me. But every once in a while, a client might check in a little bit late. And it's like more likely just because they feel a little bit ashamed that they did fall off their diet and they didn't want to like check in because they don't want to be like, "Oh man, I'm sorry, I messed up." Just because nobody likes messing up. But other than that, man, I really have never had anyone like bullshit me or anything like that, which has been really nice. Because I think one thing I make clear in my like coaching application is like, hey, like I don't want people that waste my time, because I value my time and also value yours. So if you pay me for a service, I want to make sure I do the best that I can so you get the most out of it and we're both benefiting, because I find a lot of joy in doing it, and that's why I do it, because I truly care about it, and also just want to help and pass along the knowledge that I have and that I've learned throughout the years. So it's like, I hope they respect it enough to like respect my time, and I respect theirs.
Hell yeah.
Sounds fair.
Yeah. Sounds good, man. And on the podcast we had with Austin, he mentioned you. I forgot what he said, but did you guys collab or some shit?
Yeah, man. Austin's
shout out to my guy, man. I like that guy.
He's probably one of the greatest friends I have, man, because we met right after I kind of dropped out of school, man. I was in what I like to call, I guess, like no man's land. So I kind of like left my old life, like really didn't have a whole lot of friends. And he was someone, man, who I worked up at this retail supplement store called Triad. And he was a customer, man. And me and him just kind of like hit it off. Like, we just followed each other on social media, became really good friends. And now, man, he's probably someone that I text on a regular basis. Like, It's nice having someone, I guess I could say this, who is as crazy and ambitious as I am. Because we bounce a lot of ideas off each other, man, and we really support each other, and we really try to help push each other.
And in a way, you guys have something similar,
Yeah, man.
Because he's doing his thing over there too with Maine Athletics. And
yeah, man, he's killing it, dude.
Yeah, he's putting content like crazy and active, like that boy going crazy.
He's not playing.
Yeah,
he's not playing, man.
Bro,
he's not playing.
He isn't, man, and dude, he's probably one of the hardest working individuals I know, and he's only 23.
Crazy.
And it's like, man, dude, the sky's the limit for you. It's like, I don't know what I'm doing.
When he came in here, we were talking about, I think, our schedule and shit, and he was like, so y'all working 60 plus hours. Like, he was like that's his standard.
But dude,
okay, we're the same type of motherfuckers.
Yeah.
He loves what he does, though, man. Like, he truly loves helping athletes, because I think he sees it within himself, like he wish he would have had that help. So he's trying to do his best to pass along to the younger athletes, the MLB athletes, the collegiate athletes that he works with, man. And I truly have zero doubt that he's going to do great things.
Oh yeah,
because
sure.
there's just something about him, and you feel this when you meet certain people, where it's like, yeah, like that's someone, man, that has it. Whatever it is, like they possess it.
Yeah, you can kind of sense it. I mean, the moment he came in, gave us this conversation, it was like, yeah, you're onto big things. And his story's crazy. I'm like, bro, you should do a book.
Yeah.
And I really can't wait to collab with him again. Maybe us pulling up, doing hitting the streets, and, doing kind of recording. Yeah, because it's amazing what they do, man. And that gives the kids hope, you know what I'm saying? So that's a big one. If you have, like we mentioned before, you're a young kid and you want to become, a basketball player, and you need to work on your skills and stuff. And, you know, these people are helping you achieve that, you know,
and they truly care.
you might have a shitty ass home, but basketball is what's keeping you going. You know what I'm saying? Like,
so many stories of coaches that have like just changed lives, man. Mike Tyson, you know, like people like that. That dude would have been in the streets just robbing people and shit if it wasn't for his coach.
Yeah, that's what's up. And it's crazy because sometimes we don't realize the talent. I'm pretty sure like Mike Tyson was like, shit, I don't know if I can do this shit. And motherfucker became a world champ.
I forgot who I was listening to today, and they were saying like everybody that's the 1%ers, everybody has mentors and coaches. Like everybody that's up there.
Right, man. You have to have mentors and coaches. I mean, I think another thing too is like you can always learn something from someone else, whether it's good or bad. Just because you can, like I said, you can learn anything from anyone.
You have to be humble enough to
humility
to learn.
So you start the Let's Work, and you started during the whole shit show, and it received a lot of success.
Yeah,
it has received. It looks clean, man. Like I seen your page and shit, and you know.
I'm trying. I don't know. We're kind of shooting from the hip sometimes, but I'm trying.
And
how'd you get the content going?
So, really, man, the content. I mean, it honestly started through me, obviously, because honestly, I started using the hashtag Let's Work on my Instagram post about 2 or 3 years ago. I saw it randomly one day, and I just started using it on my hashtag because I was like, man, this is pretty simple, pretty cool. I enjoy it. And really, man, the content came through me competing because I realized, man, I kind of had built somewhat of a platform, man, through my little job. And it's kind of given me a lot of eyes on me. I was in contact with a lot of people, man. So I built my social media just really around me, lifting weights, posting more about my prep, what I was doing, from the diet to the training to the cardio, my progress photos, my before and after. So the content, man, really came through me just promoting myself and building myself.
People were like, oh, he's on this shit. I'm trying to...
man. So that was one of the biggest things is, I kind of realized whenever I was competing that, hey, man, like you truly have something going for you. Like, you should really try to promote yourself. And I'm just going to be honest, the stars definitely aligned where I had a buddy who I used to work with and he left and he's an artist. Shout out to my guy, Zach. I don't know if you guys ever heard of his Instagram, Step Back Zach. But he's a really good artist, man. And he did a Juice WRLD mural that's like pretty popular. But he started working at this t-shirt shop and he was like, hey bro, like I can print some t-shirts for you. And really, man, once I sold, the t-shirts, I kind of realized like, hey, like I can do something here. So everything
clicked.
Yeah, man. So like really things just started to fall into place and things just started to line up all together. And I was like, man, all I'm doing is just posting the process. And I think that's one of the most important things people want to see is the process of how did you get from here to here.
It was authentic.
I stress that shit a lot.
Yeah, man. And it's one of those deals too where like I wasn't trying to be someone that I wasn't. I was just being me. Like, hey, I like posting motivational stuff, not to inspire other people, just because I always see that stuff and it helps me get going. So that's all I would do, man, on my own social media platform and just share the process. And people kind of bought into it, man. And I gained a lot of momentum and I really kind of officially launched the brand, even though I started selling t-shirts before the official launch in November and had a lot of success. And ever since then, man, I've just been running with it. And now it's kind of like
I see that shit being everywhere, bro, to be honest. Like that Let's Work. I could see fucking somebody in the NBA just coming out with that shit. Like,
that'd be cool, man. I mean,
the sky's the limit with it. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, we live in this era where it's like, we can make anything possible.
Right,
that's
man.
what it is.
And that's one of those deals too, where it's like, if someone else can do it, then I truly believe that I can. And it's just like, once you kind of have your own thing, man, you just kind of start thinking bigger and dreaming bigger. And you're just like, okay, like this is mine. I can make it as big as I can be. So like, let's do that, and like, that's going to be the goal is do it as big as I can.
So who do you look up to as far as the fitness industry? Is there any specific guys that you're like, damn, this person fucks with him?
Then there's a few, man. Like you said, the fitness industry, I'm just going to call it how it is. It's a lot of smoke and mirrors, know? Like you look up to certain people and you're like, oh man, like he's not who you thought.
Like somebody I fuck with is Larry Wheels. First of all, he says, I take whatever the fuck.
Rich?
Like I take... No, Rich too. Rest in peace, Rich. He's legend, bro. Like,
dude, all those YouTube videos, man, those are golden,
bro. Like, it's crazy, but
Ben and Jerry's
behind so much success was a depressed person. Like, it's crazy. Like,
it's crazy
to think about that. This motherfucker was huge, big ass arms, and he still felt like he was small.
He sacrificed his life to just entertain us.
Yeah. It's one of those. Rest in peace. But the other guy is Larry Wheels. Like
Larry Wheels.
Yeah, he's big, bro. He's powerlifting. He's into powerlifting. Motherfucker is strong, but he's up front, bro. He's literally he made it
top 3 fitness
right now, bro. So Larry Wheels is up there. I like Bradley Martin. And there's this kid from Ohio. His YouTube channel is about like 80K. He's growing. No, 100K.
Yeah.
His name is Just Merc or some shit like that. So he's more like my style of like body type shit.
Yeah.
You know, he's 180 shredded. You know, that's, you know, so those are, I would say my top 3. Simeon Panda. I do like him, although I think he's bullshit when he says he's natty. But he puts great content out.
Top 3, man. Mine, I think this is like, definitely one, like obviously Christian Guzman, owner of Athlete, man. His content really inspired me, especially when I was in college. He'd do like those summer shredding videos, and I would watch those all summer, and that's what really helped motivate me to like lose some weight and get myself. Another one, man, I don't know if you guys ever heard of him, but he's the owner of this company called Revive. His name is Matt Jensen. I honestly look up to him quite a bit just because of his training philosophy and his training style. And he's he posts a lot of educational content, and it's just something I feel like I learn a lot from. So like I feel like his content helps me out quite a bit.
There's a lot if I think about it, like athlete X or some shit. Jeff Cavalier, that motherfucker.
Bro, that
hard.
motherfucker right there.
He hard.
His emailing system is on point because I still get emails from that motherfucker.
Hey, bro, that email campaign works, man.
Yeah.
So
there's a lot because even that, then like I used to watch a lot of the Hodge twins, and I used to watch a lot of Jeff Sides content. Yeah, my bad.
You're
I was thinking, damn, there's a lot.
No, man, there's a bunch of OG ones, man.
Yeah.
And I think a third one, I don't even know, man, because there's so many of them. I guess going back to like when I first started out was the guy named Corey Gregory. He was the owner of Muscle Farm, which was a big brand at the time.
Muscle Farm, that shit sounds so familiar.
Yeah, man, it was pretty popular a few years ago. Like,
did a bunch of YouTubers have the whole code shit? Like,
I'm pretty sure, man. Yeah, man, it was popping. So he was someone that I followed quite a bit and learned quite a bit from, and I followed all his programs on like bodybuilding.com and his diet and his training, and you know, he was someone who really helped me get the ball rolling on like my fitness journey.
How do you feel about the whole protein and all that industry? Like, if somebody came to you right now and said, you know, let's do this, let's work protein shake, but you can't have an input in the ingredients or nothing.
I tell them no. Yeah, I mean, I think
the fitness thing, you got to stay true to this.
It's not even that, man. It's also one of those deals where I do work within the fitness industry, and I've worked in the supplement industry. Even now, I still work within the supplement industry with a few behind the scenes things. But one of the biggest things, man, is the fitness industry. There definitely is, you know, or I guess the supplement industry. There's a lot of people who, you know, produce a lot of product that is just gonna say it's pretty shitty.
Yeah.
You know, but I do see a tide turning where a lot of people, man, are producing a lot more quality ingredients, because if you put a shitty product out on the market, you got to think, man, if you get one bad rep, that one bad rep travels faster than light at this point.
Yeah,
so now,
exactly.
Instead of one person knowing, it's
next thing you know, you're canceled
knowing.
And shit.
Yeah,
you know
next thing you know, man, you're done. So
yeah.
I think with me and my knowledge, I definitely know a whole lot about supplements and the ingredients and the dose, you know, what's correct and things that if someone told me, no, I can't have an input,
then that's not working. Like, we're not working. Because it's like if I come to you, if I come to you, AV, let's make a strain that's called AV. AV's gas. But you're not going to have a say on it. Next thing you know, that shit is fucking bullshit.
Well, the thing with that is I wouldn't know, because I don't know shit about weed. So it's not like I could tell them, like.
But you should know what's good weed and bad weed. Like weed that's like, you smoke that shit and you're like,
But growing it is a different.
Right, but tasting it, like you looking at the like how it looks and like smoking that shit, like this shit gets me high.
I would definitely come with like 2 strains or something, be like making a combination of these 2 or something.
Yeah, like
but that's as far as I would.
Yeah, exactly.
I wouldn't be able to be like throw this many cannabinoids.
It's more of a collaboration. I think that's the beautiful part. I mean, you have these artists now, these Latin artists like Bad Bunny, J Bob, and all these people doing like shoe collaborations, and you have I hate to say it, but
with the supplement, I think at first, like a lot of people didn't really care about the quality of the product. They would just stamp their fucking
you're right,
name on it. Because I'd be like, damn, how the fuck, like, did you come out with a pre-workout that quick? Like, it's just an investor, somebody that was like,
Slap your name on it. Boom.
Yeah,
Let's
man.
make some
And
sales.
here's
If
check.
it costs you $3 to make a product and you're charging 40,
And it's just like anything, man. Like any industry, there's your scammers and a lot of people.
in everyone, man.
I saw Mike Rashid. He's doing like a lot of vegan.
Yeah, his
based-
brand. I think his brand's Ambrosia.
Is it?
Yeah.
Well, so he was on the Mike Tyson podcast, and he basically was honest about it. He was like, at first, like that shit was all for the money, and I made a lot of money. But then it got to the point where
Man,
I didn't really think the supplements were that good for people. So he's like, now we're doing this plant-based thing.
Yeah, his is a lot more health conscious. I feel like because I remember his
he already
first
made
line.
millions off of just some bullshit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But
Have
like
you
I
guys
said-
seen? Sorry for interrupting, man. Have you guys seen that ad of this guy without a shirt that says, "These are the foods that are fucking up your testosterone"? Well, I got a recommended video of him and the scam he's been done, bro. Like he sells a lot of bullshit products, bro, and he was victim of being the face of like this supplement brand that's just full of shit because it has a lot of bad reviews and like they just expose
That
the
happened
shit
to a
out
lot
of
of fitness dudes. What
Yeah.
happened? That was the dudes that had like Lambos and they were all tatted up and shit.
Shreds.
I think
Shreds.
yeah.
Y'all remember that
that
wave?
shit was bad, bro. People were
Yeah,
coming
with
out
Joyce
like,
Bro,
Swollen,
it got
Devin
to the
Physique.
point. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, bro, can you really
and
make?
they were one of the first to fucking start that whole bullshit
they
of
were
like,
massive, man.
oh,
Massive.
you know, we're yeah.
That's what
Bro,
I was like
I would look
16.
at them and be like, "You telling me I can be on that level? I can be a part of like a company like
taking
that,
his
and,
protein?
and driving a
Crazy.
Lambo and
just
a
doing online training. Like,
Yeah.
They're scammed through online training.
and they
too.
little by little, like a lot of people did fall off and like got
The real ones stayed though, like Beast Mode Jones. Shout out to Beast Mode Jones.
Yeah.
His
See, that's
shit
another
is-
one. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, talk to us about your partnership with QB because you pulled up the
Yeah.
other day. You know,
Luis-
gave him a little
yeah.
big flag. Let's work.
No, man,
and he
Luis-
was excited. You know what I'm saying?
Luis is so honestly, man, he was the first photographer I hit up for like a photo shoot for Let's Work. Just because I saw through some of his work through a friend. So honestly, man, I hit him up, and then ever since then, man, he's just been my guy. And I was around when the Cube first started, really. So I was like, on his first guest night, man, and really we just kind of hit it off this past year. And
Yeah.
he was like, "Hey, bro, you trying to like sponsor us?" And I was just like, "Sure, man."
Hell yeah.
So anything, man. I truly believe in him, but I also believe in esports quite a bit, man,
Yes.
because
They're
I think
positive dudes, man.
Yeah, and I think we all go through this phase, man. Well, I know I did really bad where, I was 9 years old and people asked me what I wanted to do. And I was like, bro, I want to be a YouTuber, because
Oh, yeah,
I
hell
was
yeah.
around the time where, Twitch was picking up.
How old are you, bro?
I'm 23.
23?
Yeah.
Shit.
So I was like in the beginning phases where
of
having
YouTuber, like
Yeah,
gaming. I want to be a gamer type shit.
yeah, bro. People have 30,000 subs, and you're like, bro, that's like 30 million.
Yeah.
So I've always believed, I have at least 100 YouTube videos of me playing esports because
Yeah.
I believed in it so much as a kid. I was like, bro, like this is like the next thing. But I got into fitness and sports, obviously you
Man,
fall off. But
it's crazy to think because even when I started my YouTube
Yeah.
channel, at a certain point, I started doing gaming and I had the most fun, bro.
Yeah,
Trust me, it
dude.
was like
Bro, and
I
I-
just sucked ass. Like I was just trash, but I had fun, bro. When I look back at those videos, I still have them like private and shit.
Yeah,
I'm
same
like,
here.
damn, this shit is crazy.
dude,
like, I
I
had
was
fun.
15, bro, and my parents be mad at me because I'd stay up all night just playing video
Yeah,
games. Like, bro, you
man.
sleep all day. But I'm like, man, dude, like,
Got to save it for that nightlife, you
dude,
know?
it's fun, man.
Yeah. Shout out to him, man. Shout out to QB Esports. They're doing their shit. QB Sports. I always fuck it up. I like to
We
call it
wouldn't have
QB.
found this office if it wasn't for them.
Exactly. And
Luis is the man, dude.
And all that hard work that he's been putting in, his team has been paying off because they just now got he was talking to me about like he landed just this big other esports and they're doing a collaboration
Yeah, I mean,
and
he's booming, dude.
so that's I was
He's on
like,
the
bro,
rise. I was like, hey, bro,
you
let's
fucking
do it.
deserve that
He's
shit.
running it.
Yeah.
He's another person that's not playing about it. That's the thing. Whenever we went over there, he told us like
Like we would come here, bro. He's still here hours. Boom. Doing like
Content,
either
man.
he said,
content.
I quit my bank job. I'm really gonna make this shit happen. So,
Exactly.
Yeah, bro. So he told me because I remember when he did it, I was like, hey,
Bold.
bro, 2 feet in, man. It's the only way you're gonna make it.
Yes, man. It's one of those. So salute to them, man. I think it's gonna keep growing, and I like the creativity side of things, man. I love it. I
How
support
long
that.
has your brand been established?
So I guess, man, I really didn't start selling T-shirts until May of last year. And I guess I really didn't file for like an LLC until like June or July, man. So really not even a year, and yeah, so it's kind of crazy, man, because so much has happened within the past 8 months that it's kind of like surreal to think it hasn't been a year. But ever since, I started selling t-shirts, man, I've just been rocking with it.
Nice, man.
Yeah.
It's only going to grow too. That's what's crazy. Like building the network, like once you mess with him and then you come here and then, it's like a
man, it's all about
full circle.
It's meeting as many people as I can, but also just, being patient along that process too, because I think, like all of us, we want to be there now, but it's like, man, part of the journey is the process of getting there. What's the point of getting there if you're just going to forget about everything else?
I think, it's like what, enjoying the journey. And then
once you get there, bro, you're going to want to move on to the next fucking thing. So it's like, you might as well enjoy the moment because
exactly.
It's never ending.
Did you guys see what happened to my guy, Paul Pierce?
No, what happened?
Bruh. God. So Paul Pierce got fired from ESPN.
Who did?
Paul Pierce. He used to play for the Celtics.
Yeah.
And now he was...
but he's been a hothead, right?
Well, not really, bro. All he was doing is just say dumb shit and just talk shit about LeBron because he was salty that LeBron fucked him up, fucked up his career, kind of,
into the Celtics.
He was supposed to get at least 2 more rings, but then LeBron was like, hell nah, I'm going to Miami and I'm going to end that shit. But anyways, so my mans gets fired from ESPN. The reason why is because my man was having a good time in LA. I don't know if it was his house or what. He was having a good time. He was like, let me just pop up a live, right? Pops up the live, takes the shot. Behind him are strippers.
Yeah.
So they're throwing the bills, and he's just like, hey, what's up? And like, I need a massage. So like, there's this chick giving him a massage.
They're supposed to not be doing that with COVID or what?
Well, not with COVID, bro. It's just like, I feel like where he fucked up is just doing that live because you can still do it. This is your private life. But
these lives are wild, man. People gotta watch out with these
so
lives.
There's like there's ass shaking in the background. He's taking shots. I mean, I'm like that's the lavish life. But look, my thing with that is like, bro, you're 43. You're one-time champion, 10-time All-Star. You're a millionaire. You really didn't have to do that live. Like he did it like on
he was probably on one, just feeling himself.
On a 20-year, like something a 20-year-old would do type shit.
Yeah, I mean, you also ruin your
But you also, you know what I'm saying? So it's like you had fun and shit, but don't post that shit. Yeah. It goes back to like he wanted to be on like the social media wave of the kids.
Yeah, he wanted to show his homies that he was having a good time.
Like, bro, we know you probably smashed some bitches after that, but it's like, who are you like trying to prove? Like you have this fucking big resume. You're a legend. You're an NBA legend. So it's one of those like social media like
alcohol, bro, and drugs.
So he fell in the sauce, man. Yeah, it's one of those, man, because it's like, bro, you didn't have to do that. Now you know what I'm saying. You was getting paid to just talk shit and say nonsense, and now you fucked because it's such a cancel culture.
But why though?
I don't have no problem with it.
Like if I feel like if somebody's gonna post a video of them kicking it late at night, why that's. I'd rather
but
not.
You got to keep in mind.
If I can't do that, I'd rather not work with them.
Right, but it's one of those where it's like...
You know what I'm saying?
Disney is the owner of ESPN. Disney have a fucking big monopoly.
That's why I could never... I'm always going to be an underground legend.
So it's one of those where it's like...
I'll never be mainstream.
Yeah, I don't got a problem with it. A lot of people don't have a problem with it. It's just the fact that it's just... Nowadays, it kind of sucks, but it's a cancel culture. I mean, I'm pretty sure it's not the end of him. I feel like somebody like Fox, they have like, a sports segment. They can pick his ass up, and I think he'll do good.
And then now he has that little rap or that little story, so there's like a hype around him. Like,
yeah.
They hired him over there.
Yeah, so it's one of those, man. It's that I think he just fell in that social media. Like, I feel like it wasn't necessary. He could have still had his fun and shit. He's Paul Pierce, bro. Come on. We know these NBA players. You know how they do. We know their lifestyle and shit. So,
what sports are you into, man?
Man... Really, dude, it's weird, man. It's really because of the pandemic. I didn't watch a whole lot of sports, but I guess the sports that I am really into is like football, obviously soccer. I guess NBA, man, but really not a whole lot. I guess with everything going on, but I guess you say really just two, just be football and soccer, man. Those are probably my two. I loved soccer as a kid, so I watched people in Europe, Spain, all those different countries play. Then obviously in the USA, the World Cup, and then when football season rolls around, obviously OU.
I only watch like the main things. Cause I used to be a big, for example, NBA. I used to watch a lot of NBA every single game, but it was because I had content around it as well. I used to do a lot of NBA content.
Right.
Once that was like, I fell off, I was like, then there's no reason for me to watch them. Like
Right.
that time that I'm gonna invest watching, I can do something else.
And not only that, man,
I
these
learned that
games
shit the
are
hard
long.
way. Yeah.
Bro, it's like, this
Especially
is 4
football.
hours.
Football, bro. Like,
Dude,
shit.
I watched the OU Texas game last year, and it's the only game I watched because it was like 5 hours long. And I was just like, bro, I'm done with sports for the rest of the year.
I always say I'm a player,
I don't
not a
want to
fan.
hear that. I don't want to hear that.
But I like the idea of like the unity that sports bring.
It does.
It does.
I,
Man.
I really don't give a fuck who's gonna win or who's, but it's cool seeing people.
I think it's
like just
it's just
mingle and
it's good seeing fans in the crowd, man.
I feel like during school, I feel like a lot of times soccer kept kids away from gangs.
Yeah.
Because like kids either joined gangs or they'd be the soccer kids with like the America shirt and Chivas.
Chivas, yeah.
Cruz Azul, like
I remember
that'd be
those days.
the
Yeah, dude.
So I'd much rather people fight over a soccer team than fucking gangs.
I think those are the exciting moments. I feel like I can't wait for the Thunder games to come back because that's gonna be like my way of like escapism.
Yeah.
Of where like I go watch the game, have a good time, and
just be nice to go
Super Bowl.
out.
I love Super Bowls. You know when
Yeah.
the Super Bowl's around, like that
Super Bowl's
shit. Because I
always
know
a
it's
good
gonna be a
time.
good time. You know it's
Yeah.
gonna be a good time. And now the World Cup FIFA, shit, I'm ready for that shit. You know what I'm saying? So it's always fun and it's always unity and shit. So yeah, just people don't fall into the sauce, man. So AV, you're cutting social media off.
Yeah.
Again?
Man. Well, I did a month before and then I got back on it like a crack addict.
Yeah.
Why do you want to get off of it?
For my mental health, man, because I was just doing research on why it's so bad for you.
'Cause you say
and that's
you-
why I
you-
quit last time, and then I went back to it. Man, what the fuck?
Yeah.
So this time I was just like, all right.
No, I
and then
feel
I'm
you.
doing like another show.
Talk to us about that.
I have
brother.
so much shit going on that time that I spent scrolling, I'm just gonna spend it writing a script or doing something else, you know, and just use social media for like the Half Court podcast and
Right.
just work. You
No,
know?
I feel you, man. I mean, recently, man, I was following like almost 1,400 people, and now I'm down to like 400. It's nothing personal, you know, if I unfollow you, but it's just like, man, I just spend so much time scrolling sometimes that it's just like,
Man, when I got to that point too, bro, I feel
yeah. And it's not, like I said, it's nothing personal,
Yeah.
but you got to look at social media as well as like people's diary in a way. And it's like, bro, I'm not trying to read your diary every
And
single day.
I don't want to get to that point where
Yeah.
like when I go on the app, like I want a reason to click off quick, right?
Exactly,
So
man.
the less
There's just
people you have, the
there's
better,
so
right?
many bad things that it does to your mind that we don't know what it's gonna do in the long run, and it's scary that people aren't like speaking up about it. It's just like it's really suicide rates are going up, depression, anxiety.
Yeah.
Like what the fuck, you know what I'm saying? There should be more awareness of it and like how to use it and all that. Cause
Yeah.
Bro,
I mean, they
I
want you
seen
glued
that,
to your
yeah.
phone though.
I seen your last post on Snapchat and it was like, oh shit. Like it threw me off because I've been working on it because like my Snapchat, I have the notifications turned off. So if you hit me up on Snapchat, you're going to get a response 2-3 hours later because I don't touch that shit, right?
That's how it is in all mine. Yeah.
And same with the Instagram, bro. Like there was an era where I was following every single goddamn Instagram model, and then I was like, "What the fuck am
We
I
all go
doing? You
through
ain't
that
providing me right, and you ain't providing me no value. Then I'm gonna have to, click off, unfollow. So I've gotten to that point where I definitely get where AV's coming from, and it's true because it's like the time you spend scrolling and kind of looking at seeing what people's doing and shit.
it's
Like,
wild.
But also I
too.
feel like once you become, I guess you could say like an entrepreneur or a business owner, you realize the importance of time and how much time you really do have. Because you know, there's
Yes.
some days where it's like, bro, you can grind all damn day, but you get to the end of the day and you're still not halfway through your to-do list. And it's like,
Yes.
bro, some people spend their entire day just scrolling through social media
It's just
and then
so
wonder why they can't get
comfy,
anywhere.
bro.
Yeah.
To sit there and like scroll and scroll and
And it's
scroll
also,
and-
you know, like the dopamine hit of
yeah,
scrolling
I've-
and likes.
So
Yeah.
sometimes you'll sit there hours scrolling instead of like doing what you. gotta do.
I'm proud of myself because I've trained myself to not get on it so much, right? Because I did the same thing. Like, what was it, like 2 weeks after you did it or a month after you did it? I did the cleanse too. I was like, I need this shit, right? So first of all, when I went back, I was like, I'm gonna turn off my notification from Snapchat because I don't care. I don't want to fall back into that trap.
Right.
And Facebook, I never re-downloaded it, so it's just there with
you
probably
don't need to be on
100 notifications. But I feel like Facebook is more of like the people that know you, family members, friends and stuff, are just there to lurk.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I never saw my closest family members be like, oh, this podcast is awesome, bro. Like, go to the cookouts. They don't even say a word
Does Jeff
about
Bezos
it.
have a fucking Snapchat?
Hell no.
Probably
or
not,
Instagram
man.
or Facebook.
Nah.
Too busy working.
Yeah, bro. So it's
So-
like that's what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
Like if all these fucking successful ass people aren't using it, and then that means that I'm a consumer. I'm not.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's either,
yeah.
but it's also one of the, I mean, that is true. You're the producer or consumer. I mean, you can't
Yeah.
be both. But it's also one of those deals where I went through a phase about 2 years ago where I deleted my entire Instagram for about 2 months. But then I kind of realized, like, man, it's
necessary
you know, the way, because it does give you the benefit.
It is, but like you have to just know what you're using it for. So, for example, like
I used
as
to
of
follow that
lately,
trap.
what I'm studying is like the whole algorithm shit, the whole like ads, who to target, and all that. That's what I need to focus on, not. You know,
Way back, I used to be a victim of that, like
I think
business, and then I would be
Yeah, I
like,
think
I post the shit and then go,
or another
again.
reason why I understand is keeping up with trends and shit like that. But you can choose, let's say, Friday. You know what I'm saying? I haven't been on Instagram all fucking week. On Friday, I'm gonna go check the people that I follow. So let me go check out, DJ Ghost or
or go on Twitter, see what's trending.
And in that hour, you can catch up with the posts from all week, and then that way you didn't have to sit there and who's dropping what, scrolling down trying to fucking geeking.
Exactly. And it's like
it's also one of those deals too where I personally, as much as I kind of fall trap into the negativity of the world, I also just try to use mine to spread, positivity or make people laugh or entertain people, because they're going to be on it. So might as well give them something to, worth seeing, because there's just so much just being hammered with negativity and fear.
Yeah.
It's like, man,
here's
something,
here's
a funny,
create like positive content that's going to
inspiring. And I think, that's why I personally feel like a lot of people who really got into business last year had so much success, because people were looking for something to latch onto and something to support, because the time that we were in, it's like, man, we just need something.
Guidance.
Yeah, we just need something to inspire us to get us out of this funk that we're in.
And it's crazy because we were talking about it, like how the universe works in mysterious ways. Because it's like I'm over here thinking, right, like, damn, I do miss working out because I had this fucking fractured wrist, right? But
tough.
This shit happens for a reason, right? This shit enabled me to take a step back and not be out, because I was all over the place. So this thing took
set your ass down.
So I was able to trigger another skill. Took the time that I was investing in the gym to develop a different skill.
Right.
To the point where it's like it's developed my mind, like me becoming a better person, me like just saying like I need to like be better. Like I need to it's very hard to explain, but it's just like it's motivated me to become even better and like just kill it. You know what I'm saying?
No,
like
but that's a good thing though, man, because if you get better, then so does everyone else.
Yeah, so it's like it happens for a reason. Like I was just all over the place, just fucking stressing about content and like
monkey see, monkey do.
Like one of those things. Yeah, so it's like shit happens for a reason, and I'm glad this shit happened because it taught me something. I'm learning a skill. I'm getting better. I'm becoming better mentally.
Can't you fucking still work out legs to go in there and do lunges or something?
I haven't canceled my membership, motherfucker.
No, but can you still? You can. Right?
I can do body weight workout. The thing is like, because I do try to at least stay active on that side, but it's one of those where it's if I do a lot of like explosive movements, it kind of hurts. So I'm just trying to minimize it, because I'm just, bro, I got an upcoming trip coming, and I already know I'm gonna.
You want it to heal fast.
Exactly.
Yeah. You don't
so
want to
it's
slow
like
down.
I tried, doing a little jump squats and shit, but it kind of like hurts a little bit
with the impact.
Yeah, so it's one of those where it's like, all right, let me chill, because I know when I hit the island, bro, it's gonna be crazy.
How do y'all control y'all's emotions?
How do I control my emotions?
As a man full of testosterone, sometimes you just want to slap a motherfucker.
Dude, that's an interesting question. I mean, I think I kind of touched on this. One thing about having anxiety and like depression and like having like these weird mood swings sometimes is that I feel like it's really required me to like be in tune with myself. So I feel like, meditating, prayer, devotion, routine, being on top of your game has really helped me control my own emotions and not get too high and not get too low. I think obviously, man, there's going to be moments where you're just like out of left field, something happens. But I think, the best way that I control my emotions, man, is just kind of realize that my reactions are based upon my own perception. So I just need to like change my perspective on the situation and just react accordingly.
Yeah.
You know, I think especially in the world today, man, so many people panic. You know, I've always been raised not to panic, even though I still panic sometimes. It's like, man, just stay cool, calm, and collective and figure it out, because panicking only makes situations worse.
Yeah.
You know, like the other day, me and my siblings and my mom were out looking at some shoes, and, you know, we saw two guys just kind of, you know, run out with some product, and it's like my siblings, you can tell they started a little panic, but it's like, man, don't panic, because you know, you have to take care of yourself in those situations and make sure things are getting taken care of correctly, and, you know, call the police or get out of the way so that way nobody gets hurt and things are done the right way. Yeah. So I don't know, man. I think that's also just like a skill that people learn. I think it's something that I'm learning.
With time, yeah.
It's just like you can't panic under pressure, because when you panic, that's when things get worse, and you just don't need to go down that route.
At least what I do, especially when it's anger, I mean, I think it's just a matter of like getting away from everybody, because sometimes out of anger you say things that hurt other people. So it's like sometimes you don't even mean it, right? So it's like I normally, especially like when I used to fight with my girl and shit all the time, it's like, all right, let me just go to the other room.
Not only that,
chill,
man,
and then come back, and it would be a totally different conversation compared to just an argument. You know, it would be a conversation compared to an argument.
Right, so, and if you do mess up,
and it's with anything. With my brothers, the same thing. When they do some dumb shit, I'm like, all right, I mean, hey, this is where you fucked up. This is what you can do better. What can we do to help you? Like, what can I do to help you?
And figure it out like adults and not scream at each other. And I think if you do make a mistake, you just own it.
What about you, AV? What do you do to control your anger and emotions and shit? Because
I smoke some weed. To be honest, I could work on that, bro. That's why I'm asking. I guess that's why I asked that question. Breathing, I've been trying to breathe more, you know, like just.
Breathing is important, bro.
Dude, just taking a deep breath, bro.
Take that deep breath, and then, because right there I could have snapped, you know what I'm saying? But instead, I just take that breath, and then I think about all the shit that's gonna, because I like it's not that I like confrontation, but I'm not gonna let shit slide. So
I mean, you shouldn't.
Right. Like I've had to learn to. There's certain times where I just need to let it go, and then come back to it and be like, hey, look, I didn't really like how, instead of you snap at me, so I'm snap at you, you know? Yeah. So it's like one of those where I've had to get better at that, and just. Right.
I mean, we all have to get better at it.
The mentality thing is what you said. Like, that's on point, bro. Your perspective is, your thoughts is basically, you just have to control your thoughts.
Right. And I think it's also one of those deals where you get angry at someone, you know, because they said, you know, this is a good example, even though people don't like talking about it, you know, it's like their political views. It's like, well, man, everyone was raised differently, so I can't hate on you because you were raised in this section where I was raised over here. It's like, man, we're all different. So like, who am I to judge or hate someone else, you know? Yeah. Because when you do that, then nothing gets ever solved, and we just end up in a deeper hole than we're already in.
It's more separated.
Yeah, exactly.
Man, it's crazy. It's all this self-development, man. And
it's never ending.
It's never ending, but it's also a great thing to kind of keep improving. I love that shit, man.
Right. I think that's the only way that as men, like, we can truly be happy, man, is being like, good with ourselves, like physically, fucking mentally, spiritually. If not, then we don't got nothing to offer. You know what I'm saying? Like you said.
Yeah,
like,
I mean, like I said, I think, you know, the older I get, the more I realize this, you know, the better that I get, the more people around me get. And I also feel like a responsibility because, you know, I do coach athletes and people. It's like, man, I got to be on my A game so I know my people are on their A game. Yeah. You know, and that can apply into, you know, your work, your friends, your relationships, man. When you're on top of your game, man, like everyone else is on top of their game.
People are going to see the actions and then...
They gravitate towards it.
They're going to try to maybe, I don't know if emulate is the right word, but
mimic.
Like follow you. You know what I'm saying? Like, for example, with us at work, like we know that my dad is always there before us. That's why he's the boss, because he's the one that gets everything. Right. Oh, you know, and that's his, he's the leader. As a boss, as a leader, that's like, if he's late, then we're like, oh.
That gives you permission
on point,
to be
bro.
late.
Every time I drop my brother off, it's like he's there, ready to go. Like, and shout out to him because he's taught all of us discipline, bro. Because I got to take my brother to work, so I'm up at 7, ready to go, bro. Ready to fucking...
He don't fuck around either, man. It's like a boot camp when I work with him. Like today, it was like 4 minutes before lunch, and then I'm like about to go to lunch, and then he's like, "Hey," I'm like, "Are you fucking serious? It's 4 minutes, bro." He's like, "Yeah, it's not time yet."
Yeah, no, man, but that's good, man, because I think, I think this is like a really good saying is like, discipline equals freedom. Even in like those small things, man, like they matter because they're in your subconscious of like, oh, I cut 4 minutes of my time. I can cut on my training. I can cut on my nutrition. It's like those small things, those details, I think they truly matter in everything that you do. Because if you cut one corner, you're going to cut another. And I've heard this really good quote, man, like, success is found in the corners. Because people cut them. Yeah. And it's just like, that
makes sense.
Those small things, man.
That's what sets it apart.
Yeah. I mean, even like when I was doing the bodybuilding show, it's like, hey, you need 8 hours. I ran into a point where it's like, I was getting like 5 hours of sleep. And I was like, hey, you need 8 hours of sleep or this isn't going to happen. So it's like, all right, cut everything out that doesn't matter. Do as much as I can in this time frame that I have that I'm awake, and you get 8 hours of sleep. And it's like those details.
Sometimes I had to tell myself it's not how much sleep you get or how much you sleep is what you do when you wake up. Some shit like that.
Man, because if Jeff Bezos can get 8 hours of sleep, then there's no excuse for me not to get 8 hours of sleep.
And getting the good quality sleep, like that slobber, you
wake up like
you dream about
what day is it?
What the fuck happened?
Yeah, man. So, what's next for Fonzo and Let's Work, man?
So I guess what's next, man, is it's kind of tough, man, to answer. I mean, because obviously, like, we kind of, we're in apparel business. And I think, dabbling into, like, the cut and sew in the sense of the hoodies, joggers. I think socks are really cool. Shorts, jackets, really the whole apparel industry. So obviously, man, really getting into the cut and sew. Personally, man, I think I have a lot of small goals in the sense of getting into, like, the screen printing. So really understanding how to print on a screen and transfer onto the t-shirt and really getting into that. But I also think a huge thing for Let's Work, man, is really getting the awareness out there into the gym industry and the fitness industry a whole lot more. Yeah. And really, man, leveling myself up in the sense of competing and the sense of promoting myself more on social media, because at the end of the day, man, like, I guess this is the reality of it. I am the face of the brand. Mm-hmm. So I need to make sure that I'm always in the best shape that I am or can be, and in promoting myself in the best way I can be. And it's really, man, letting time run its course and let the pieces fall in where they need to, and just run them with them, man. I think right now, personally, I am in a really good position with the things that I'm doing and the things that I'm involved with, that I'm going to be able to do those things, man. I just got to go out and just do them. I think with clothing, what really is going to set you apart is the consistency, because you constantly need to start designing new designs, different fresh apparels, winter season, this and that. So it's like, that's what's really going to set, that's going to set you apart. And that's what sets, like, most people that do apparel,
And the ambassadors, I think that's a huge thing.
Networking,
Getting those people that are going to,
yeah, man. And that's one big thing I've been working on.
We had to disable the fucking website because it was too much. Like, it's like, damn, like, for us,
we'll be back. Don't trip. The half court store will be back
soon. It was just a lot, because I like to keep it fresh, but it's like I don't got the time to sit down and design new apparels, different logo designs and stuff like that. So it's like,
no, I feel you, man.
We're gonna focus on the content right now, and then definitely be back, because that's one thing I want to focus on. But I just need to break through.
There's a brand here, I think is it Limitless?
Yeah, man, Limitless Skills.
They're
good dudes.
Like, they're doing it how you're supposed to fucking do it. They're doing their social media, their ambassadors.
Yeah, but they probably focus on one, like that, just one thing. Let's focus on this website. Yeah. They probably have multiple people, so it's like Chop was seasoned. You know what I'm saying? Like,
that's what's good though. We have people little by little in the city now that are doing things.
No, it's amazing.
So within the next 5 years,
I mean, there's a lot of things happening in Oklahoma. Truly, I think a lot of people underestimate what is currently going on within the city. And there's a lot of, I think I kind of said it earlier, like land grabbing. So, like, there's a lot of opportunity if you're willing to look and work for it.
Yeah.
It's like the land run right now.
It is, dude. Especially because we're all kind of...
You got to go claim your fucking...
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, even with the pandemic, we're all kind of on the same playing field. So it's like, hey, sink or swim.
Yeah. Burnout, bro. Have you faced burnout?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, man. Oh, that's funny you bring that up, because after dieting for 37 weeks, doing the... So I guess, I think another thing too, man, when I was doing the bodybuilding contest, I knew that I was going to be extremely disciplined in my nutrition. And I knew when I'm like that in that mindset, I can do as much as you possibly can within a 16 to 20 hour time frame. It's just, I don't know what happens, man. When my nutrition's in check, everything in life is just super easy. So I think after the past, 37 weeks of dieting, when I got to the end of November, I was a part of a lot of things. I do got to give a quick shout out to Triad. I was a part of them, helping them open up the second location up in Norman. I was part of, building my brand, building my personal training, online coaching. I was working towards competing in that bodybuilding show. And then as I got to the end of it and all those things kind of wrapped up, man, I was just completely like burnt. And it was one of those deals where I've kind of have learned how to not resist it and just kind of let it happen, because I'm one of those people where it's like, if I'm not doing something, then I'm not making progress. But it's like, hey man, sometimes you just got to take a step back and like, not necessarily coast, but just keep putting one foot in front of the other. And you don't need to be in a dead sprint. You can just be walking. So I guess I dealt with burnout really bad. Cause it's funny you said that, because I remember texting my mom in like December. I was like, I think I'm burnt out. Cause I was like, man, I just don't know what to do next. But it's like, hey man, just chill. It's okay to chill. When
you're going through this bodybuilding show, are you completely away from everybody and like from your social activities and all that, or how are you?
Not really, man. I think I do prioritize myself a little bit more, because, if I didn't get that done, then none of that would have mattered with like my brand and stuff. But at the same time, man, I probably spent more time with friends and family than ever.
You're still pulling up to the family barbecue.
Yeah, man. Like every
That's
Friday.
important.
I think it is, man, because I think a lot of people are like, oh, well, I'm on prep, and, people make this big deal out of it. I got to eat my chicken and rice. Like, bro, you signed up to do that. Like, ain't nobody telling you to do that. So
I hate
you can
that.
I was like, I'm not going to take away from going to go see my sister in Texas or go to my sister's football game on Friday night because I don't have the discipline to not eat the popcorn, then not eat the chicken. Like, hey, everyone around me knows what I'm doing. They know I'm serious about this goal and they support me. So I got nothing to worry about. And the people that don't support me, man, I made it a goal last year to cut out everyone negative. And I was like, all right, man, see ya.
That's a big one. That's a big one.
How did you make that choice? Like, what criteria?
The negative people one? Honestly, man, I think...
Like, what criteria made somebody a negative person?
I'll be honest. Like, I think negativity, man, to me is like, you're always talking about someone else, always talking about the past. You're always talking about, other people or drama, or I just don't got time for that, man. Yeah. So I kind of made that a rule at the beginning of 2020. Like, hey, you just don't have time for this, and you don't have the energy. And
it's so fucking annoying when you're not dealing with that type of shit and you're listening to somebody talk about that. You're like, oh,
yeah, God. Man, I got to the point too, man, where I just kind of told people straight up, like, hey, we can't be friends, and it's nothing personal. It's just like, hey, like, I'm on a different projection in life than you are, and like, that's okay. And it's, I don't know if I told you guys this, but like my tagline for Let's Work is like, not for everyone. It's like, I'm not for everyone and neither are you. So I'm not going to try to act like I'm for everyone. Yeah. So like, it's okay if we're not as close as we once were or friends, because, I think that's one of the biggest things for Let's Work is like, it's not for everyone. And I never intended to be for everyone. Because I feel like that would take away a lot from the brand. And I'd much rather have 50% of the population love me than 100% of the population like me.
Yeah.
So
makes sense. With that. Facebook did make me realize a lot of where I thought a lot of people and friends I were connected with. Mm-hmm. But once I got rid of the app, it was like, oh, so the app was really what's keeping us connected.
Yeah. I mean, it's just like the same.
Now you don't hit me up. Now, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, it made me realize a lot of things.
Imagine if it was still where you had to go knock at somebody's house. Like, I forgot who was saying, like, back in the day, probably relationships lasted longer because you couldn't be on each other's nuts all the time.
Yeah.
Like the wife couldn't be calling the husband at work. Like, they'd go to work and then they'd fucking see each other when they see each other.
Yeah. Yep. A lot more intimate and
big
stuff.
Big thing, man. So if you had to go back 5 years and tell yourself something, what would it be? And we'll wrap this up with this.
Oh, man, this is a good question. If I had to tell myself something, it would be, oh, man, I really don't know. There's a lot of things that come to mind. I think the number one thing I would tell myself is just don't stop believing.
Don't stop believing.
Yeah, because there's been a lot of moments, man, where, I've fallen flat on my face or I didn't know what I was going to do next. And, God kind of picked me up and put me in places and brought people in my life that I needed to. And they have helped me become the person that I am. And, you know, even recently, these past 6 months, man, you know, I left a position where I left a job that, you know, I invested a lot of time and effort and energy into, and I didn't know what I was going to do next, man. But, you know, that don't stop believing, God picked me up and put me where I needed to be. So I think that would be the advice that I would give myself. I guess, you know, if that was 5 years ago, just don't stop believing.
Hell yeah. I'm with that, man. So where can people find you on social media?
So you can find me on social media at my Instagram handle is like Alfonso Lopez and then 2 L's at the end of it. Let's Work Official is also my business Instagram. Usually only on Instagram. That's where I kind of hang
YouTube?
out. I do have a YouTube, Alfonso Lopez. I always say I'm gonna post content, but then
It's one of those where it's like, fuck, where do I find the time?
bro, not only that, man.
I
It's
stopped,
just like
bro. I had to.
doing the iMovie thing, bro. It takes so long. Where on Instagram, it's like, hey, like, here's a quick 30-second snippet. On post. And it's so much easier, you know, with your phone. Because then you gotta take the SD card out, and it's like,
put it on the computer.
Yeah, bro.
Do the little effects and this and that.
Dude, exactly. And then if your computer messes up, it's like,
That's a good way to look at things, you know, more like pull up.
Hit us up if y'all need help with that shit, man. We're doing sponsorships, so, you know, we can help you with all that.
There you go.
Yeah, for sure, man. So, man, it's been one hell of a podcast, man. I appreciate you for coming out. This was a fun conversation. We're going to go ahead and wrap this up, ladies and gentlemen. Fonzo from Let's Work. Ladies and gentlemen, we are out. Peace.
See you guys.